Thanks all for joining us. Hello, welcome. Thank you again. This is the second session in our Business Basics training series. If you're joining us for the first time in this webinar, a very special welcome to you. And to those of you who joined us last week, a warm welcome back. Thank you all for joining us today. So this webinar is really made possible by the Big Up Small Business Project, which aims to create new opportunities for small, micro, and medium entrepreneurs in Jamaica to benefit from tourism. Of course, the Big Up Small Business Project is a joint initiative of TUI Care Foundation and the Travel Foundation. So I'm Coral Williams, and I'm the Jamaica Program Coordinator for the Travel Foundation. Also hosting the session with me today is my colleague, Rebecca Armstrong, and Rebecca is the Sustainable Tourism Specialist at the Travel Foundation. She's based in the UK office in Bristol, and I'm based here in Jamaica. And together we are responsible for implementing the activities under the Big Up Small Business Project. So these Business Basics webinars that we're bringing to you, which started last week and continuing this week, are really part of the capacity building support that we are doing under the project. And they're being brought to you today by the Travel Foundation in partnership with TPDCO. Now, the training sessions continue until the 3rd of November, and they're designed to really develop the knowledge and skills of small, micro, and medium tourism entrepreneurs to help you to efficiently manage and to grow your tourism businesses, to help you to increase your earnings and also to enhance your livelihoods. So the aim of these training sessions is to provide you with the basic tools and practical information that will enable you to structure your business operations in an efficient and a financially viable way. So we really hope that you'll take advantage of them and get some useful information out of it. Each week, the webinar will focus on a different topic, and today's training will be on business plan writing. So you'll learn some practical tips on writing a business plan and also why it is essential to your business's success. Next week, Thursday, on the 20th of October, the training will focus on how to prepare to access funding. And on the 27th of October, we'll look at how to future-proof your tourism business through energy and resource efficiency and also benefiting your local community. And the final webinar will be on Thursday, the 3rd of November, on digital marketing. You really don't want to miss that one, because you'll get tips on how to promote your tourism business and also how to maximize your marketing. So of course, you're welcome to attend all of them. So gear up, get ready, we're about to start. I'm gonna have my colleague Rebecca is now going to introduce today's presenter, and she'll also remind you of a few housekeeping matters.
So yeah, as Coral said, we're really delighted to be joined for this second training webinar today by Dr. Dawn Lemonius. Dawn is a consultant, a coach and an author. She has a focus on human resources and training and development in a variety of industries, locally, regionally, internationally, including having worked with the Jamaica Tourist Board, JAMPRO, and of course TPDCO as an approved training partner. And she has really strong tourism and business planning expertise, which I'm delighted that she's able to share with us today. So I will hand over to Dawn. Many thanks, Dawn. Over to you. Thank you. You're on mute.
I must apologize. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I so appreciate your warm welcome, and I thank everyone for joining this morning. And we're going to be sharing quite a bit on the journey that takes us to our business plan. Let me just
while you're sharing, Dawn, sorry, I should have also added about the chat and the question and answer function. I'm so sorry, as part of my introduction, just to say that we do have the chat function enabled for you to introduce yourselves and your businesses, and any sort of general comments. And then the question and answer box specifically for any questions that you'd like to put to Dawn. If you want to put any questions in there in the course of her presentation, we will pause at the end of various sections, a couple of different sections, to put those questions to Dawn. So please use the question and answer box specifically for those questions. Thank you. Sorry, Dawn, back over to you.
No problem. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so today, the guide to writing a business plan. And we're going to move straight on to looking at you, the entrepreneur. You have decided to start a business. It is said that an entrepreneur is someone who is an opportunity seeker. They see opportunities, they go after them, and they start their businesses. Of course, they're going to take risks. You take the risk. You take the loan, or you spend your money to invest in this business that you decide that you want to be in. Now, why is it that you have chosen to take up an opportunity? Why? What is it that you see? What did you see that made you say, I'm going to start a business because I see an opportunity? And the opportunity that you're seeing is as a result of problems that people have. Think about it. Many people will say that they start a business because they want to work for themselves. They want to be independent, or they want to make money. But should that be the real reason behind you starting a business, or we starting a business? And then I want to direct us to the fact that people have problems, people have pain. And so when you identify people's problems and you identify people's pain, you make a decision that this is now my chance to solve these people's problems. And that's why it speaks to opportunity seeker, an entrepreneur being an opportunity seeker. Because you see the problem, you identify the problem, and you decide that you're going to take the opportunity to solve people's problems. And many of you on this webinar are involved in agriculture. Some of you are involved in tourism, travel, tours, spa, villas, hotels, whatever area you're in. I would like you to think carefully about what problem are you solving, and whose pain are you relieving? And that brings us to the point where, as you think about the problems that people have, and as you think about the pain that people have, ideas will start going off. The bright light will start going off in your head. How can I solve this problem? What can I do to solve this problem? And that, this is what an idea is. As we speak about ideas and that bright light that goes off in your head. A thought or a collection of thoughts that generate in the mind. An idea is usually generated with intent, but can also be created unintentionally. How many times have we had an idea that was generated on purpose? We had an idea generating session, you decide that you want to solve this particular problem, but also unintentionally. So you decide that the story is told of, say, Pelican Bar. A fisherman who is always going out to fishing. When he comes back, he decides to build a little thing in the ocean where he can chill before he goes home. And somebody says, why don't you turn it into a bar? Next thing that we know, we have Pelican Bar. That is an unintentional thing. It was never something that he probably thought of before until somebody said, why don't you do that? It's the same thing in our businesses that we do, whatever it is. Some of our ideas could be intentional and some of them could be unintentional. And ideas often form during brainstorming sessions and through discussions. So you may say to someone, I think I want to do so and so. And a person may redirect your thoughts or add increase, improve on what ideas you may have had. And the idea takes us to the point where I'm going to ask you, what are your ideas? Now you have your thinking cap on. What are your ideas? What are your ideas as far as solving other people's problems are concerned? If you are in the spa business, whose problem are you solving? And what ideas do you have that will really solve people's problems? If you are in the travel or tours, whose problem are you solving? And what ideas do you have as it relates to solving these problems? Now, because you have all these ideas, you have seen an opportunity, you decided to solve the problems, and you have had ideas. Now the business is born. So we have the baby chick coming out, coming to light. Something is being born. What do you do now that the chick is out of the egg? What do you do? There are some things that we have to do in the process of this birthing of the business. The first thing we need to look at is, what does it take to start a business? What does it take to solve people's problems? And there are a number of building blocks that we have to look at. The very first one is, what product or what service am I going to be offering? What can I use to solve these people's problems? And these people, of course, will become your customers. Where am I going to have this business? Is it going to be a particular location? Is it be at an intersection? Is it going to be in a shopping center? Is it going to be online? Where am I going to put this business? When I look at the value of my work, when I look at my intellectual property, when I look at the amount of investment that I have put into the business, what am I going to be asking people to pay for my solving their problem? What will I ask them to pay? Bear in mind that people will pay for something that they believe will solve their problem or ease their pain. How am I going to promote this product or this service that I'm offering? Bearing in mind that products don't speak and services can't talk. So how is someone going to know about them? How am I going to allow other persons to know about them? Yes, we know that there's word of mouth that takes place where customers pass on information to other customers. But as the owner of the business, as an entrepreneur, how am I going to cause other people to want to come to my business or to do business with me? The next thing to consider is the people. Who am I going to have around me? Is this a journey that I alone will take? Or is it a journey that I will depend on other persons to come on board with me? And if I want other persons to come on board with me, who am I looking to come on board with me? What skills am I looking for? What abilities am I looking for these people to have? What competencies do I expect these people to bring to the table so that collectively we can solve the problems that we have decided that we want to solve, or to ease the pain of the people who we have identified? Bearing in mind that the reasons business for being is the customer, this person whose problem we have identified, and this person whose problems we want to provide a solution for. At the end of the day, what we really want to do in solving their problems is to create great memories and to give them memorable experiences. Even if someone is buying a tangible item, we want them to have great memories of all the activities surrounding the transaction. If it is services, if it is something that we're going to use, if it is something that we want to feel, again, it goes back to the memories and the experiences. And ask yourself the question, when you go to do business with someone, when you purchase something from someone, you may want a computer case and you buy the computer case, but don't you want to have a memorable experience or a feel like it's worth my encounter with this person? Even the virtual space. As you consider your product, your price, your place, how you're going to promote, and the people, we also will form in our mind's eye a vision, a picture of what we really want this business to do. So you are in agriculture. And as I give an example here with Sam's Mango Farm. So you want to decide, you decide that you want to have a mango farm. How do I want the world to see me? How do I want to position this business in the landscape that we're going to be operating in? So we're looking far and looking wide. What do I want my business to look like? So the vision statement is an aspirational description of what the organization would like to achieve or accomplish in the midterm or long-term future. So as an aspirational description, it speaks to, again, as I said, mentioned before, that picture. What would I want this business to do for my customers, for these people whose problems I'm solving? And ask yourself the question, have you identified, now, as an entrepreneur, as someone who has a business or about to start a business, have you identified a vision as to what you would want your business or your organization to be able to achieve in the midterm or the long-term future? There are a number of things to consider when you're creating a vision statement. Who is your ideal customer? Whose problem are you solving? What are your financial goals for your business? What do I want to be able to achieve? Is it multi-million-dollar or $1 million? It all depends on how you envision, how far you envision your business to go. What will you or your business be known for? Think about it. You do business with some people now, or you know of some businesses. What are they known for? What is it that makes them stand out? They are known for quality. They are known for innovation. They are known for creativity. They are known for reliability. What are they? What will your business be known for? What services will you provide your customers? Or what products will you provide your customers? And what will your role be in the business? Are you going to be actively in the business? Or are you going to be the person with the money for the investment, but you bring people on board who can deliver what you envision? What role are you going to play? Where will the business be located? It's another consideration. And when will you need more space or different systems or more staff? At what stage do you think? If you're going to start off with one item now, and the item will do well, when do you think you may need to get a bigger space because you're having more orders or you're having more customers? You have a small restaurant. Based on the product that you're offering, your clientele has grown. When do you think you'll need to move away from that space? When do you think you may need to improve on the systems that you have in the way your business is operated? When will you need more staff who will support you in satisfying the needs of these persons who will come to do business with you? And of course, why are you starting this business? Remember, it should be for solving people's problems. You identify problems and you seek the opportunity to solve their problems. Why will your customers do business with you rather than their competition? And later on in our presentation today, we're going to be looking at some of the things that we can do to ensure that what we offer in our business is different from the competition. So you may have a villa, for example. There are 6 other villas in that area that you are in. And you may wonder, how do I compete? But the question to ask yourself is, what is it that people need that my competitors are not providing? What can I add? What value can I add to what I am offering or what others are offering that will make me stand out from the competition? What will the culture of the business be? And we know that organizations have culture. Some have culture, a culture of growth. Some have a culture of, wow, it's a great place to work. Some people, their culture is all about family. Some companies will tell you that what makes us so unique and special is because we are family. We operate like family. That's a culture. What kind of culture do you want? And what are your beliefs and values, and how will they affect your business? Your beliefs and your values direct the culture, how your business is going to operate. So even if you are not in the business anymore, even if you hand your business down to a child, or you sell your business to someone else, or somebody else operates it for you, there are some aspects of your belief system and your values that will remain constant. It will not change based off ownership, whether you're there or not. They perhaps would more likely be entrenched in how the company operates. I have a sample here of a vision statement, a sample vision statement, which goes like this. We at Sam's Mango Farm strive to be an authentic and experience-driven tour, because Sam's Mango Farm has the idea that he wants to have a farm. Let me just say that this now. He wants to have a farm where not just mangoes are there, but it also involves tours on by boat, because it's a river that runs through the property. He wants to be able to show all the versatility of mangoes. So he wants to be an authentic and experience-driven tour by consistently delivering highly informed, ethical, and accurate information to our customers for a reasonable fee. Now, our entire organization endeavors to exceed the expectations of our customers in all aspects of service by always responding promptly to our customers' needs. That is what Sam has in his mind. Always managing our customers' expectations in an efficient, caring, and proactive manner. And always communicating our rich heritage in a fun-filled environment. And always looking to achieve great memories and experiences for our customers. Sam has a vision of authenticity, fun, people being proactive, showing off our heritage, showing off our culture, and being caring at the same time. These are some key things in all these words that are there. There are some key things that Sam has in his mind as to what he wants his business to be able to do. And this is what is going to direct him in his plans. This is going to be what we'll say to him for the next few months or the next few years. We are striving for this, one thing at a time. We may not start the fun-filled part yet. We may just be at the part where we're dealing with the authentic experience of maybe food or the fruits, but we're going to get to a point where we're going to have the fun-filled environment that we're going to provide. And so in 5 years, he may just get a chance to start the fun-filled aspect of it. But this is the vision that he had of his business. Another sample vision statement: our vision is to provide our customers with accurate information on mangoes and its various uses. We strive to expose our customers, again, the word authentic, to an authentic farm and culinary experience in a rural setting. So we can choose to write our vision statements anyhow, as long as it is forward thinking and as long as it is telling us and showing the marketplace what our intention is. Now the mission. Once we have identified our vision statement, the mission statement supports the vision. The mission statement pretty much is that statement that directs you and your staff as to why we go to work every day, as to why we do this every day. What are we supposed to be able to do now that we have an idea as to where we want to go? What are we going to be delivering and how are we going to be delivering it? So it provides an overview of the group's plans to realize that vision by identifying the service areas, the target audience, and the values and goals of the organization. Now, one of the things about writing a mission statement is that the word "we" should be involved in this vision statement. Use "we" to emphasize the business as a whole and focus on the business culture and strategies. What do we intend to do? And we is everyone in the business, whether it's ownership or not. And this is the one that staff will most likely be committing to memory, because it guides us, because we have identified problems that people have and we are solving problems, and we start a business to solve problems. It therefore means that everyone who's a part of this business should have one thing on their mind. It is, how are we going to be solving people's problems? How are we going to make them feel? What memories are we going to be creating? What experience do we want to give to them? And so that's the mission. Make sure all of your employees can relate to the mission statement, that it does what? It inspires all employees to be their best and to work toward a common goal. The mission is a common goal. So if you have an organization and people do not know their mission statement, they don't know what the company is about, then pretty much any road will take you there. And sometimes it causes people to behave in a very disjointed manner, or the organization operates in a very disjointed manner because the mission of the business is not clear. It's not communicated, it is not clear. So my purpose for going to work is because I have bills to pay. The next person's purpose for going to work is because I don't want to be home. And 5 persons may have different reasons for going to work, and none of them may be thinking that my reason for going to work is to create memories and great experiences to solve people's problems. So the focus is missing. A sample mission statement here. Sam's Mango Farm consistently strives for our guests to have amazing experiences, as we are aware that our customers are the reason for our existence. We deliver value and create beautiful memories through our authentic farm and boating offerings. And this is something that gives us the reason for going to work every day. And this is a statement that can easily be committed to memory and people can recite, because it reminds them of the purpose for us every day we go to work. To give our guests amazing experiences. We are aware that they are the reason why we are here. So we are going to deliver value more than what they expect. And we're going to be creating the memories through our authentic farm and boating offering. So we have taken the responsibility in this business that we will deliver, because we are conscious as to whose needs we are meeting. Now, another thing that we need to consider in a business is our guiding principles. All of us pretty much have standards for our lives. And these are based off morals that might have been taught to us at home or at church or at school. Some values, honesty, integrity, decency, whatever it is that we hold dear to ourselves as our values and our guiding principles. And we live our lives because we make decisions based off our belief systems that we have. It's great for organizations or businesses to also have set of principles by which they operate. And these principles outlive the organization in the sense of whether the owner is there or not. This is the principle by which we operate. What is it that you hold dear? What are the 4 or 5 things you want your staff to understand? Or you as the owner of the business, what are the 4 or 5 things that you bear in mind as you do business with people? You will be transparent. And if you say one of your guiding values is to be transparent, then you are not going to be lying to people willfully, or you won't encourage your staff to lie to people willfully, because one of your guiding values says, we will be transparent. We will be honest. We will exercise integrity. So your guiding values are moral values that set a standard for behavior and attitude within a workplace. And companies establish guiding principles to shape the culture of their work environment and ensure that their employees understand what moral behavior they expect. And think about it. If you do not have that yet, but think about you having some standards by which not only you will operate, but you'd also want your staff to operate under. And identify, sometimes with the help of your team. You can also do this as a part of a team effort with your team or other business partners with you. What is it that we want our people and ourselves to be reminded of every day as far as moral standards are concerned? So think about it. What are your guiding values? What is it that is important to you? What is it that will influence decisions that you make or actions that you take? So the journey continues. How do you bridge the gap? So you are here, and where you are here now is at the point where you are starting your business. Even if you're physically started your business already, take your mind back to the very beginning, because maybe there were some steps that were missed along that way, that we may want to go back and say, okay, I had jumped over this hurdle. I did not, I jumped over 2 hurdles instead of jumping over 1 at a time. What can I do now to ensure that I know why I'm in business? I can identify whose problems I'm solving. I've identified how am I doing things differently. I've identified the vision that I have for the business. I've identified the mission that we should have for the business, and the values, what's important for us as we go on to that stage in the future where we will definitely have a profitable business. All right. I don't know if there are any questions, Rebecca or Cora, I don't know if there are any questions as it relates to this section. Can I just go straight ahead?
There aren't any at the moment. If anybody does have any questions, please do pop them in the question and answer box, and we can pass them on to Dawn at the next juncture maybe, but at the moment there aren't any, but some really positive comments in the chat actually about finding this really helpful and useful. So thank you, Dawn. So far it's great.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so I'll move on. Now, so now you have your ideas because you've identified your problem and you have your vision and you have your mission in the middle of it. One of the things that has to be a major part of the business as we think about the ideas and as we think about solving people's problems, we're going to go to the value proposition canvas, because the value proposition canvas is that place where you will spend a little bit of time as you look at the problems you'll be solving and how you'll be solving the problem. So we're going to be looking at what the customer's profile, what pains do the customers have? And when we speak about the gains, what do they want? And how their jobs or how their lives are affected by what they want. And on the other side, when you look at the value proposition, we're looking at how can we relieve their pain? What products and services can we offer that's going to relieve their pain? And since we know what they want, what the customer wants, how can we create what you call gain creators? I'm going to talk some more about that. What is a value proposition? A value proposition is a simple statement that summarizes why a customer would choose your product or service. Think about it. So if you are starting a business, a restaurant, for example, why would a customer choose to come to my restaurant and not the other one? That's a statement. It communicates the clearest benefits that customers receive by giving you their business. I notice these keywords are in all caps. Why would a customer choose to come to do business with me? And what is the benefit for that? Why should they give you the business? And every value proposition should speak to a customer's challenges, or might I say problems, or might I say pain, and make the case for your company as a problem solver. So the value proposition statement makes you stand out as a diamond. It makes you stand out differently from all the other persons around who may be offering the same thing. And especially in tourism, there are some fundamental needs or components of tourism. When we think of accommodation, look at the variety that we have in the accommodation sector, right? We have villas and cottages and small hotels, medium-sized hotels, large hotels, Airbnb, all these different types of accommodation. But what is it that my business, as I step in, as I'm involved in this aspect of it, what does my business do that's different? What can I offer my clientele or my customers that's different from what everybody else is doing? If it is transportation, if it is tours, if it is attraction, it's the same thing. What am I offering that is different? So the customer profile, when you explore each section of the canvas, do so from the perspective of the customer. Don't think about what you like or what you would want. It's what the customers want. Sometimes we learn what customers want when we talk to them. We listen to people's complaints. Maybe you read on social media what people's concerns are. And so that gives ideas to what can we have on our canvas. While writing out the benefits of your product, imagine how it increases pleasure or decreases pain for the person using it. So we form a picture of that person in front of us as we plan. Just imagine that customer who is in front of us being happy because they are pleasured, or happy because their pain has been taken away from them. Now, value propositions continued. Approach the features and the experience that way too. So how do the features make the customer's life better? For example, you know, phones. A few years ago, many of us had a phone, and we also had a digital camera. So we know that the people at Apple would have done a value proposition canvas, because they would have identified the fact that people are walking around with 2 devices on a vacation, people traveling, and they have their phones with them, but they also have their cameras with them, and the cameras sometimes get lost and that kind of thing. So for the convenience of it, they found a way to put that together. So we have one device. That device is a phone. It is a camera and offers many other features. So instead of having a big computer that we walk around with, we have a smaller device that does just what a computer would do. And this is, I'm sure that this was a result of a value proposition canvas, that they looked at how they can combine, how they perhaps could rearrange, and how they could amplify, or in one case, minify what is already out there. And how does the product experience make a customer feel? And think about how is those of us who are using both a phone and a digital camera, how does having one single device now make you feel? When you can send your email and you can take your pictures and you can send them right away, you don't have to transfer, use a card to transfer pictures from the digital camera to your computer and all that. You don't have to do that anymore. How does that make you feel? Next, you'll dive into the customer's wants, their emotional drivers. What drives people? What needs do they have? Their rational motivators, and what fears do they have? All of these things are part of what helps us to satisfy the needs or to solve the problems or to drive away the pain of our customers. Remember that even when consumers are making purchases or investments on behalf of a company, they can still be guided by emotions. So you may be buying something not for yourself, but for your company, but we still purchase things based on how that product makes us feel. We may look at that and say, nah, I don't want to buy that because I don't have a good feel about this thing. And this is buying from your emotions. In particular, try to understand whether a product, and this is a value proposition now, try to understand whether a product or service affects a buyer's perceived likelihood of failure, their anxiety or their reputation at work or in society. So as you think of solving the problems, as you think of relieving the pain, as you think of what products to offer, how is it going to affect the buyer's thought process, likelihood of their failure or reputation at work or reputation in society? So the canvas has 2 main blocks, as we identified before. The customer segment, and this is where the problem is defined. We identified that earlier. And the next one is, of course, the canvas, the product segment, and this is where a solution is defined. Now look at this profile, the value proposition on the left and the customer profile on the right. So a problem or opportunity is defined through entrepreneur. The entrepreneur identifies a problem and takes the opportunity and takes a note of what that problem is and sees it as an opportunity. And the solution is defined in the value proposition. And you will have access to a form that is going to help you to sit down and brainstorm and figure out what is your customer profile, the people who you are going after. What's their profile? What's their pain? What do they want? What kind of jobs they do? And think also as to how you can relieve the pain. What can you do that is different in your game creators from what the competition is doing? And what products would those be? Or what services would those be? So in writing a value proposition, it is clear that a strong value proposition is necessary, but how do you cope with one? And I'm sure many of you are asking, well, how do I cope with one? I can't think. There are some steps. One, research your audience. The first step is to understand your audience and what motivates them. What is it that causes people to do? What are the drivers? What causes people to do some things? What causes people to buy some stuff? And this will shape the language you use to communicate with them and to help you pinpoint the biggest selling point of your product. So talk to your audience. You may want to do an official questionnaire or survey, or just you have existing clients, you have existing customers. Find out what they want. They come to you all the time. Is there something else that they would like? So a very great way if you don't have the time to speak to them, a suggestion box is always good to find out what they really want. And this can be done through interviews with current customers or people you assume would use it. It's much easier to determine your audience if you already have customers, I mentioned before, because they have already demonstrated that they'll buy from you. Talk to them, ask them how your product or service is improving their businesses and their lives. You have to dive deep into your interviews to answer questions like, what do they do? What is their biggest problem or pain point? What type of language do they use? You might be surprised to find out that you might be helping in significant ways that you didn't think about. Think about that. Step 2, research your competitors. Your conversations with current customers may uncover other tools they used before finding your product, or tools they might be using alongside your product. Interesting thing to think about. Look into those tools, especially if they directly compete with your business, and figure out what you do better than them. What makes you stand in that box taller than everybody else? There's no point having two businesses doing the exact same thing. It doesn't give prospects a reason to choose you over your competition. And that's food for thought. Step 3, determine the primary benefit of your product. And now that you understand your ideal buyer's persona and your competitors, it's time to determine your primary benefit. What am I going to be doing that will benefit my customer? While there may be multiple reasons to use your product, there's often one thing that your audience is most interested in. It's for you to find that one thing. There are a number of considerations. It is said that there are 8 basic human desires. And as you consider your value proposition Canva, consider the customer's survival, enjoyment of life extension, their enjoyment of food and beverages, freedom from fear that they are looking for, pain and danger, sexual companionship, comfortable living conditions, to be superior, winning, keeping up with the Joneses. Let's face it, people do stuff and buy stuff based off status. So these are some considerations. Care and protection of loved ones and social approval. All of these things inspire or drive, we speak about the motivations, motivate people to do things, to purchase something or to want something. Some more considerations. There are 9 learned desires, we're told. We want to be informed, curiosity, cleanliness of body and surroundings, efficiency, convenience. And speaking about convenience, don't we need convenience? Dependability and quality. Expression of beauty and style. Economy. How much profit do we make? And what bargains can we get? These are things that as we go through life, we learn. And we learn them and we require them. Okay, so I'm just about to do the business plan section. Just another check before I go any further. Any questions?
If you have any questions, anyone, please post them in the Q&A box so that they can be answered. Nothing
Okay.
so far, but we can take them at the end, so you can continue.
Beautiful, beautiful. As we look at the business plan, there are a number of things that will jump out in your mind. A project, an idea, the market, who are we going after? Who are the competitors? How are we going to launch this business? How is this business going to take off? And who is going to manage the business? All of these things are part of what goes into the business plan. So we're going to be talking about the plan. So now that we have identified problems, decided on how we're going to solve the problems, have some ideas, we have planned, we have looked at our vision, we have looked at our mission, we have looked at our guiding values, we have carefully observed or taken note of the problems that people have out there. What do they want? What is being offered? And what can you offer that's different? It takes us to a point where now we're going to be looking at the business plan. A lot of times persons have a business plan that they need to do, and they don't think it through. They contract someone to write a business plan for them without even having an idea in your own mind as to what do I really want. And so this person who we have contracted to write the business plan writes a business plan from their perspective. It's not very clear to you, and you have it maybe for the purpose of a loan or something like that, but it does not serve you well. So there are so many things to consider before you get to that point where you're going to be writing a business plan. Now, a business plan in an era where more than 50% of small enterprises fail in their first year, having a clear, defined, and well thought out business plan is a crucial first step for setting up a business for long-term success. So you realize that what we spoke of earlier, a lot of them are coming to play now. The mission and the team and the market, who are we going after? What are we going to do? We're going to be talking about looking at your SWOT, doing a SWOT analysis, looking at what we're going after. All of these things are part of now what makes up the business plan. Business plans are a required tool for all entrepreneurs, business owners, and even business students. But what exactly is a business plan? The business plan is a documented strategy for a business that highlights its goals and its plans for achieving them. It takes into consideration its goals, and I want to pause a second for that one. A documented strategy, a plan. How are we going to get there? It highlights goals, and it also looks at the plans for achieving them. It outlines a company's go-to-market plan, financial projections, market research, business purpose, and mission statement, whilst it also has in the vision and the guiding principles. It also will have in key staff who are responsible for achieving the goals may also be included in the business plan along with the timeline. So an organizational chart will always have a place in a business plan as well, because it helps to direct you in terms of how you want your business to be. The business plan is an undeniably critical component to getting any company off the ground. It's key to securing financing, as I mentioned before, documenting your business model, outlining your financial projections, and turning that nugget of a business idea into a reality. So critical. The purpose of a business plan, they are threefold. It summarizes the organization's strategy in order to execute it long-term. It secures financing from investors, and it helps forecast future business demands. You're starting with an idea, but you suddenly realize that it is going to do very well. You may need to look at how you do your forecast, because you may find yourself increasing by 200% in the space of 6 months, which you never planned for. How many persons do you know, or maybe you have experienced it, seeing a business started off very small, and for some reason or the other, it took off much quicker and bigger than you anticipated. And the person has to scramble now to catch up, to organize and to structure themselves in response to that. And the business plan suddenly may have to change. So there are some components of a business plan. It can take many forms depending on the venture. A 4-person management consulting firm may produce a leaner plan focused on service expertise and industry experience, compared to a 20-employee manufacturer, which would also have to describe products, manufacturing techniques, competitive forces, and marketing needs, among other details. But most plans will include, we're going to be looking at the following main sections. So sometimes a business could be just, because it's small, a person who has the experience and the industry experience and the service experience, their business plan will look differently from the person who has a lot of other pieces to put together. Okay, sorry. Your executive summary. And this is your 5-minute elevator pitch. It may include a table of contents, company background, market opportunity, management overviews, competitive advantages, and financial highlights. It's probably the easiest to write the details section first and then extract the cream to create the executive summary. So try to keep it to just a couple of pages. So the executive summary is not what you would start off writing in a business plan. You would move on to other areas that you're going to be looking at, and having done all the other areas, then you can write your executive summary, which is going to be highlighting what the business is all about. To start a business plan with an executive summary may be a little bit too abstract and won't have much of an effect on the rest of the business plan. The business description and the structure is what you start off with first, and this is where you explain why you're in business. Remember, we spoke about why you do business, solve people's problems. Why are you doing that? What problem are you solving? What are you selling? If you sell products, describe your manufacturing process, availability of materials, how you handle inventory and fulfillment, and other operational details. If you provide services, describe them and their value proposition to customers. Very key. Include other details such as strategic relationships, administrative issues, intellectual property you may own, expenses, and the legal structure of your company. And this is very important. Market research and strategies. Spell out your market analysis and describe your marketing strategy, including sales forecasts, deadlines and milestones, advertising, public relations, and how you stack up against your competition. If you can't produce a lot of data analysis, you can provide testimonials from existing customers. That will perhaps help. Management and personnel. You want to provide the professional profiles of your company executives and the managers and explain how their expertise will help you meet business goals. So there are some persons who start a business based off they identify a problem and they start a business. They don't necessarily have the skill or the expertise in the field, but they will have persons who they can bring on board who will have the expertise. It's critical to be able to convince both yourself and the investors that you will not be throwing away money. But despite the fact that I have this limitation, the people who I have on team and I have on the team, they have the expertise that will take this business forward. Investors need to evaluate the risk, and often a management team with lots of experience may lower perceived risk. And how many persons, maybe you are one of those persons, or you know of persons who start a business, they run a very successful business, but they knew nothing about the business before they started. They did not start the business with the expertise or the skills or the competencies required. However, they were able to bring people on board to take the business to the next level and give them a chance to learn the business as well. Financial documents. And this is where you provide the numbers that back up everything you described in your organizational and marketing section. Include your conservative projections of your profit and loss statements, balance sheet, and your cash flow statements for the next 3 years. And these are forward-looking projections, not your current accounting outputs. You can either be on target or off target with it, but still at least have that kind of cash flow statement there. And remember that when you look at the people who you want to have in your organization, it is always great in this context to have an organizational chart. So there are some tips that you will really want to think carefully about as you come up with your business plan. And the manual has details in terms of doing your SWOT analysis and so on, all right? But in writing a business plan, don't be long-winded. Use clear, concise language and avoid jargon. Show why you care. Why do you care about the problems that you're solving, your customers' problems, their pain? Provide supporting documents. Your reference, you should have the data as reference. Research, research, research. Clearly demonstrate your points of difference. That is critical as you position yourself in the competitive market that you're in. Be objective in your research and know the purpose of your plan. It is a roadmap, but it's also a document for the purpose of getting financial backing. Steve Jobs said, "Great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people." And so as you journey on with your business, or as you start your new business, always remember that the person that you want to be on board with you to solve people's problems, to ease people's pains, are persons who will understand that you alone can't do it. But as a team, everybody achieving more, everybody has the same objectives, the same desires, then we know that the business will be a success. And who else to tell us than Steve Jobs? So this brings us to the end of my presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I think I'm seeing 3 questions here. The first question is, can you review how to write a value proposition once again, please? Thank you.
All right. And somebody else, competitors often guard their secrets. Any tips and methods to gain information?
I was doing them one by one because I was giving you a chance to answer.
Okay, so let me go. Let me go back. All right. The value proposition. Okay, I'm gonna take us back there. Okay. So let me just move this away. So before okay, go right back to the beginning. Before I do that, let me just explain something and then that should help. All right. So, the person who asked a question, you know what would be great to find out from that person, the area, the nature of the business that they're in. Maybe they could put that in for me so I could be able to give a more direct response.
Okay, so do you want to take the others in the meantime then, the other questions, while that person perhaps clarify? Okay. Yes. So that's Jennifer. Jennifer, if you could just clarify what business you're in, what area you're in, so that she can answer more wholesomely. All right, the next question is asking, competitors often guard their secrets. Any tips on methods to gain information on proven research methods?
Okay. One of the most popular ways that people know what their competitors are doing is to do business with them. So if it's a business, if it's a hotel, if it's a restaurant, whatever it is, you do business with them. You observe, you talk to people who are customers of these people. Not that you're spying, but in a conversation, how is your experience here? I love it. What do you love about the place? What is so unique about it? And things like those, that'll give you an idea. You will never know everything, but there are some things. You stay at a hotel, or you go to a business place or a spa, you talk to the customers. What was it like? There are some things you can get. You can get a catalog, you can get a manual, a menu of services or whatever it is. You can look at that. But in terms of customers, a conversation is always good to be able to have. And you also can become a customer of that business.
Yes, I was just about to say, shop the competition as well. Yes. The next question is asking, how can we provide the financial documents if we haven't started the business yet?
I would imagine that when you do that part of it next week, the presenter will speak more to it. But the important thing is to have your business plan. The business plan doesn't have to mean that you already have the business. It is a plan. It's a forward plan you have. It is a map that you have that is going to take you to that place. And you can always do the business plan, even without the financing, because that is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'll also add that they do the financial projection. So you'll do a projection of your business for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years and put that in your business plan as well. Your business plan as well, if you haven't started.
Right, as mentioned. And there's a template that is also in your manual that will give you guidance as to how to write the business plan. So I'm not just leaving you right here. You actually will have a template that will guide you as to what you put in the business plan.
Just to jump in there as well, Anna Kay, who's on the call, who was last week's one of last week's presenters, has offered to input on that question as well, if that's helpful. I think I can enable Anna Kay to speak. I hope I can. I'll work out how to do that. Just bear with me for 1 second. Yes. Anna Kay, feel free to unmute and just respond to that question. That would be great.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes,
Yes.
thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, great. So the projections that are shown in the business plan, you would you should have an idea as to how much you would want to make in the business and the likely expenses that you will incur. And so from that hypothetical data, then your profit and loss can be created on your balance sheet. So you are not operating, but you have an idea of what you want to sell, and you would have done your research to find out the cost for those items. And so those information can be used to prepare your income statement and your balance sheet.
Great. Thank you so much,
Thank
Anna Kay. For those who weren't here, Anna Kay was our presenter last week, sorry. Then the first question that we had asking about asking for you to repeat the value proposition, Jennifer has clarified. She says she's purchasing a resort/bed and breakfast. And I think the next question is the same. It's following on that too. It says writing a value proposition. Can you say what tip number 2 is again? So I guess if you can emphasize that when you go through.
Yeah. Yes, I'll run over it again, and I will zero in on a bed and breakfast. All right.
Okay.
Now,
just one before you carry on. Just the last question is asking for a presentation on how to write a business model. I'd just like to say that we'll send the link to the manual, and as Dr. Lemonius just indicated, it has the template for the business plan writing in there. So we'll send you a link after this to the toolkit, as well as a recording of the presentation. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Lemonius.
Yes. So the value proposition, it is a statement that summarizes why the customer would choose your product or service. It communicates the clearest benefit that customers receive by giving you their business, and every value proposition should speak to a customer's challenges and make the case for your company as a problem solver. Bed and breakfast. Yeah, it may sound like, yes, bed and breakfast. Yeah, everybody offers bed and breakfast. You sleep, you wake up, and you eat. What is it that people experience when they go to other bed and breakfast? Is it just what kind of a menu? What kind of breakfast is served? What experience does the customer have? Is it one where they are given the food? They're given the breakfast? Is it one where the customer becomes a part of the experience? So they can have, there's a toaster there provided, or, you know, there is a coffee maker there, or is it that food is already prepped, seasoning is prepped for you, the ackee may be there, the saltfish may be there, or the fish, whatever it is may be there, and you can utilize. So it is a matter of, let me say, it's a method of looking at what others do or what others don't do. And not because it is bed and breakfast, and 10 people down the road, they just have a microwave, or you just go to one room and eat your breakfast and you leave. What can you add? What can you combine? What can you add? What can you magnify in that context? I've heard a lot of people who say they go to, whether it be a bed and breakfast or whatever it is, oh, and the food is so bland, and the food is little bit, and the food is like, what can you offer? Is it that you can offer a little of more things so that the plate can be bigger? I have seen places like that. So a little of everything, and it's more filling. What is it? When you explore your section of the canvas, do so from the perspective of the customer. So you may want to talk to other persons who have gone to other bed and breakfasts. What is their experience like? What do they like and what do they not like? What they like is fine. What do they not like? Think about it. Let the light go off in your head. What can I do that's different? How can I make sure that when a customer comes to my bed and breakfast, they don't have the same experiences? How do the features make the customer's life better? What is it? It's not just the breakfast alone. It's the room, how the house looks, how the apartment looks. What is the decor? How does it feel? A lot of people go to bed and breakfast and it's bland. The drapes just straight and the bed is just there, and you know, It's just so clinical, that kind of thing. What can we do to make that place feel more like home and look more like home? These are some of the things that you can consider for your value proposition. So you'll be looking pretty much, you're looking at what drive people, what do people really want? They want a home away from home. They want to they don't want to feel like they are in a little boxed up place, or they don't want to feel like they are in an institution. They have plans, whatever it is that we can do. Just compare other competitors. Talk to the persons who go to other competition. You yourself check into some other bed and breakfast. See what the experience is like. Look at where they're falling short. So in looking at your value proposition, you are going to be looking at how you can increase, how you can relieve their pain. What products can you offer? What services can I offer that's different from what everybody else is doing? All right. So that is pretty much, I just want to lead you up to this point. We're going to be looking at this. Let's say that one of the pains that customers have when they go to other bed and breakfast is boredom. A bland looking house, boring looking house. The drape is red. You know, the center table is not looking to a place, does not smell fresh. So my eyes are not telling me this is comfortable. I don't feel like it is comfortable. The furnishings in there may be a little bit old, 20 years old, that kind of thing. How do I make this place feel like home? That is again, they want to feel like home, that they want to feel like they're at home, or are gonna feel at home. That's the gain that they are looking for. So when you are looking at your value proposition, you're looking at how do I relieve the pain? What do I insert? What do I offer that's different from the rest of the competition? And how do I add value, the gain creators, to make sure that they are gonna feel different? So that's pretty much what the value proposition is all about. Is that looking at the competition, looking at people's pains, looking at what people want, and offering a service in line with relieving their pain. And the gain creators, what they want is building on what they want. Yes,
Great.
I don't know if that's.
Thank you so much. Rebecca's added something else here too, to say, looking at online reviews for other businesses can also help identify some of the things that Dawn is highlighting, what people like, what they don't like, and what is missing to help with your own value proposition.
Very good, thanks.
Wait, I think we have one more question. Oh, it's a commendation. That was very helpful. Thank you very much. From Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. That's it for the questions.
Okay.
And that's it. Okay, so if you can stop sharing, and then I'll share
Okay.
my screen, and then we can continue. Perfect, thank you. I'll see if mine works now. Is that good?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. And I hope they're advanced. Here we go. Thank you so much again, Dr. Lemonius. Thanks, everyone. Thank you all for your patience today, despite the technical issues that we've been having. We really hope that you found this session educational and also informative. Like I said before, in the coming days, we're going to be sending you an email, and that email will have a link to the manual or the toolkit pertaining to this training session. And we'll also be sending you a link to the recording for the session. So just in case you missed anything, you can review it. Join us again next week, Thursday, same time, same place, of course, on Zoom, for the session on how to prepare to access funding. Now, that really promises to be a really interesting and informative training. So I hope you don't miss it. You're going to learn how to assess your business's financial needs, what you need to look for, because, you know, some businesses don't necessarily need financing. So it will teach you how to assess your business's financial needs to see whether or not you do need financing, and if you do, how you can complete funding applications and what are some of the funding options that are available out there. So please, if you can, try to join us next week for that session. We're now going to, before you leave, just launch a quick poll. It's really short, about 1 minute of your time is what we're going to ask for. We'd just love to get your feedback on today's session, as we like to use the responses to guide us in future webinars. So please, just 1 minute to complete this poll. Once you've completed it, feel free to just click on submit, and then you can leave the seminar, the webinar. Thank you all so much again for your time this morning. Thanks for joining us.